Hi, ninth graders. This is Mr. Formato coming to you from the freshman seminar Lightbox wall. Okay, so this is a quick video on how to make your own at-home power supply. And I've got with me a helper today that's going to show you how to make the power supply. Say hello to John Floyd.
Hello.
Hello. All right. Now, basically, what we're going to do is see you're gonna make one of these. All right. So this thing is the power supply that you're going to take home. So John's going to pull one of the projects off the wall, and then he's going to make it light by plugging that thing into the wall. All right.
The red one goes on the right side. The black one goes on the left side. And this needs to be plugged into a wall.
There we go. So you need,
as advertised.
Great. So you need to make yourself one of these power supplies so that you can take home your project and display it on your nightstand. Okay. So John's going to step us through that process. So why don't we go over to the staging area here. So you can see that you've got the power supplies, you've got the actual connectors, you've got the shrink wrap, okay?
Some wire strippers.
So the first step is to grab yourself a new power supply.
Right from the box.
From the box. Okay, and you'll see that this connector needs to be chopped off. All right, so we're going to take this cutter here, and we're going to chop that thing off. All right, you keep your hands steady and I'll follow your hands. Right. So then the next step is to separate out those two wires. Yeah, so obviously you want to undo that thing. And then you want to pull those two wires apart. It's a little tricky, you got to get your thumbnails in there. You can also cut that with the wire. You just like snip right in between there a little bit, just to kind of get them separate. Good. All right, and then give yourself maybe 6 inches of separation, not much more than that. Great, and now you're going to strip those wires. I believe it's a 20 gauge. So you want to give yourself about 1 inch of copper. Okay, so to strip it, you remember you get the right size hole, pull, and then there you go. Let's take a look here. What do you got? Okay, so you got some nice copper there. Now those are going to get twisted, like, all right, and then you go to this box here, you grab a red and a black. I'm obviously going to edit this. Okay, and now one thing that's careful here, you got to make sure you get the heat shrink on first. So we're going to be, you're just going to grab a little piece of shrink wrap. John's going to cut it in half here because that's it's long enough to, it's too long. So slide one on each thing before you start. I'm going to move this guy so that our friends don't get confused. All right. So that's going to get shrink wrapped later. All right. And then the second thing is to make sure that you get the right color connector. So the red, so if you look super carefully at these wires, one of them has a white stripe and the other is solid. So the red connector goes on the solid, and then the black connector goes on the stripe. So you basically put the wire through like that, give it a nice twist, okay, and do the same with the other guy. Then we're going to hit that with a little dab of solder. So you're going to turn on your iron here. This guy will be plugged in for you. So you turn on your iron, let it get hot to 750. Okay. You grab yourself a little bit of solder, and you want to tin your tip a little bit. Here, you can do this. So once that reaches 750, you go ahead and tin the tip. There's no water in there. I gotta get some water. All right, so we're just preparing the soldering iron tip here. Just kind of getting it coated with a little bit of solder. You can clean it off in the little brass thing there. All right, so now we put a little dab of solder on that connection there. Very nice. And a little dab of solder there. Okay, that's it for that. And then basically we're just going to use the soldering iron to shrink wrap over that whole junction. Good. So then you just want to pass the iron over it, kind of like you're, like petting a cat. You're like soothing the cat. This, I don't know why I'm talking about cats. I'm probably going to edit that out. There we go. And you get that shrink wrap nice and hot, and it'll make a nice seal like that. Very nice. And then do the same on the other guy. I don't think you're going to get that to go all the way down on that one. There you go. You can also use a slightly narrower piece of shrink wrap if you want. You just want to cover the metal piece there so that they don't short out with each other, which is the thing you want to avoid. Okay, and we're done. So you can see now John has a power supply with plus minus connectors, and now you can take that and your project home, and there you go. Thanks, John.